Hi, I'm Andrea James. I'm the creator of Cooking for Life, an online cooking course that enables busy people to fit cooking into their lives. Today is Wednesday, so it's time for Cookbook Thoughts, where I share my thoughts on a cookbook with you. This week it is How to Read a French Fry, and other stories of intriguing kitchen science with more than 100 recipes. Which leads to the first point in my 3-point summary. More than 100 recipes. There was plenty of opportunity, even if they pick 10 recipes in which to include some of that kitchen science. It would have been so wonderful. But no. The second point is the bits where he does go through the stories and the whys and how things work in terms of the ingredients. Really well written. I found them pleasurable to read, and it's such a shame that they weren't included in the recipes. And the third point is I'll be sharing some of those stories and explanations in Friday Findings. So look out for them in the coming months where I'll be returning to this book. So a little bit more detail about the lack of explanation within recipes. This isn't the first book to do that. A number of times it feels like a missed opportunity. If you'd just gone, okay, this is why this ingredient is used in this recipe. This is its function, this is its role, and if you were to alter the amounts, these are some of the effects that might happen with this recipe. I think a lot of people would find that intriguing because many recipes either work or fail because of the addition of a particular ingredient. So that's not done terribly much. And the second thing is going through, say, the sequence of a recipe and saying, what happens if you were to flip the sequence? Does that have any impact on the texture or the taste or the timings? Can you reverse the sequence of things to get the same effect? All of those questions could have been better represented. The second thing is the stories in them and the explanations. In the main, they're nicely written and very easy to follow. So I'm going to share just a couple of very quick ones with you today, and some of the longer ones I'll save for a Friday Finding. So the first one is, have you ever wondered why we need to rinse rice before cooking, and why some brands actually you can get away with not rinsing? So the main reason for rinsing it is to remove the surface starch, because if there's starch around the grains, when it hits the water, it turns into this kind of sticky gloop. And that's why sometimes when you get rice, it has that, sliminess or gloopiness to it, which is really quite unpleasant. And there are some brands like Tilda. I am not under commission from them. I do not get any, I'm not promoting Tilda. I do use it myself. Apparently on its packets it says that it makes sure, in its process, the company makes sure that it removes a lot of the broken rice and a lot of the rice dust that's on the grain. So sometimes that's what you get if you pay a little bit more for your rice. It's worth noting that it's not just a pure branding thing, or you're not paying for the luxury of simply better grains. There could be more to it than that. And the final one is, what is the role of sugar when you add it to fruit? A lot of us think of it as adding sugar as a sweetener. If some fruit is, a little bit bland, we might add some sugar to give it a little bit more of a pleasant sweet taste that most of us tend to like a little bit too much. But another role that sugar plays is to draw water out of the cells. And that's something that typically happens. And in soft fruit particularly, it causes the walls of the cells to collapse, which causes the fruit to soften. And this can be used for deliberately, as in jams, or if you don't know that and you add sugar too soon, it might turn your fruit to not quite a mush, but a much softer texture than you desired to eat in your fruit salad. So keep that in mind. If you are going to use it, the timing of when you add the sugar is quite important. Before the sugar police come for me and say, oh my goodness, you know what she does in her video? She promotes the eating of sugar. I am not doing that. It's just to tell you what's happening when you add sugar. If you can, buy fruit in season and enjoy it for the taste that it has. Right. That is all the time we have for today. Join us next week again where I share another cookbook and my thoughts on it. So just before we wrap up, would I recommend this book? If you're a keen cook and you enjoy reading stories, or I guess you don't even have to be a keen cook. If you just like reading about the science behind cooking, it's not a bad book. I actually haven't cooked from the recipes just because, I don't know, I just wasn't that inspired by them. So as a recipe book, it might be good, it might not be. I wasn't particularly drawn to them. And that's my 2 cents on whether you should get this book or not. You're welcome to borrow it from me if you happen to know. All right, until next week, cook well and eat well. See you then. Bye.